Okay, so now I'm looking at the laws that they're trying to pass. They're trying to get Governor Christie to sign, and he already smacked down one of them, which was the pension fund one for the companies that make firearms. So here's A3687. Bans those on the federal terrorist list, watch list for buying guns. Now, at face value, I would agree to that. However, the problem is once you realize that the United States government can basically put anybody on this list, and there's no due process, and there's no way of even knowing you're on the list, or a process of getting off the list if you were erroneously put on the list, I got a problem with that. Okay, that just basically justifies the government basically deeming you a terrorist of the state and, taking your rights away without due process. That is a problem. You're violating, the Bill of Rights just in and of itself. Where is this at? 83717 requires state to submit data of those who should be barred from owning guns to a national instant criminal background check. Now I don't know how that's going to work, but who would be barred from it? I guess this is just specifically talking about the mentally insane people, because if you're a criminal, you're already barred from it. You know what I mean? That's an automatic list that's already there. So to me, that's somewhat redundant. 83796 or A3796 gives those who possess illegal guns 180 days to dispose of them. Right, I think that's self-explanatory. A3797 requires New Jersey enforcement agencies to report information on lost and stolen and disregarded guns to federal databases. That is a gun registry. Now, I do think that people should report lost or stolen firearms, absolutely. But a database, that's basically gun registry. Establishes school security task force, which is 83583, whatever. I don't have a problem with that, whatever that means. 83788 turns the state regulation that firearms owner info is not public information into state law. Yes, I agree with that one. I like that one. The next one kills me. A3659 bans the .50 caliber rifle, the most powerful weapon available to civilians in New Jersey. Yeah, because we got all those drive-bys with people with 50 cals. You know what 50 cal is? It's like $3 per round. Do you know that a 50 caliber rifle, not only can you, it's God knows how heavy, but, it's like an $8,000 to $10,000 rifle. Okay? What criminals are just give me one scenario where a criminal has used a 50 cal, to commit a crime in the state of New Jersey. And what's so funny is when you go to the justifiable need, they will tell you that, like with the guy that's Napa is defending right now. In his situation, they told him, well, you've never been attacked before, even though you carry money every night, so you don't have a justifiable need to carry a gun. But yet, with the 50 cal ban, despite the fact that no crime has been committed with a 50 cal, they're creating a ban off of a hypothetical. But yet they tell that Mr. Pometa, or whatever his name is, the guy that Napa is defending, that he can't have a firearms CCW or carry permit because, he's basically presenting a hypothetical in the idea that, hey, I got a lot of cash on me and I'm worried about somebody robbing me. Unbelievable. S1279 upgrades penalty for unlawful transferring of firearms to upgrade person, permits transfer for instruction and training. For unlawful transferring firearms to underage. Yeah, so that's basically trafficking, permit transfer for instruction and training. 2430 declares violence of public health crisis and establishes study commission of violence, whatever that's going to do. S2468 allows impounding motor vehicles in driver unlawfully has guns. I don't know how I feel about that one. If they're trafficking, yes. Again, if we had CCW, that wouldn't be an issue if they were a law-abiding citizen who had lawful possession of that firearm because they had a CCW. So it could be in their car, like many other states. S2751 or S2715 requires Department of Education to prepare to distribute pamphlets to parents, whatever that is. S2719 enhances penalties for gun trafficking offenses. I'll agree to that one. S2720 clarifies the information concerning the total number of firearms purchased or identify key card permits to purchase a handgun issued in the municipality in all what are public records. Well, doesn't that contradict the other one saying it's not going to be public record? I don't get that one. S2804 makes unlawful possession of firearms a first-degree crime, increases mandatory minimum sentences under the Graves Act. So essentially, we're just, we're not solving the problem. We're just adding to the prison industrial complex. We're not talking about economic opportunities. We're not talking about gainful employment. We're not talking about livable wages. We're just talking about locking more people up indefinitely because we don't want to deal with them. We just want to say, lock them up and throw away the key, which is going to cost taxpayers even more money. Instead of actually solving the problem, we just go and put a big fat Band-Aid on it. Brilliant. S1133 requires presumption that any bail paid by defendant charged with certain weapons offenses be paid in the form of full cash. Okay, so, again, denying people bail. S2725 makes a third-degree crime of possessing air or spring gun for an unlawful purpose. Okay, they added in the unlawful purpose. They reduced it to a third-degree crime as opposed to being right up there with real guns. Okay, I'll give them that, but technically speaking, it shouldn't be on there. But again, if it's for unlawful purposes and that's what you're trying to fight against, okay, I'll concede to that one. S2801 increases statute of limitations for prosecution of theft of firearm from 5 to 10 years. Statute of limitations, okay. That's kind of self-explanatory. A1329 reduces maximum capacity of ammunition magazines to 10 rounds. Yes, because officers need all the ammunition that they need in order to defend themselves against the criminal. But us law-abiding citizens, no, we should be reduced to 10 rounds to defend ourselves. So we get less rounds to defend ourselves, even though the criminals, they're not going to listen to the 10-round limit. They're going to go and have their, 25-round capacity for their Ruger P95. A588 bans possession of ammunition capable of penetrating body armor. Do they, and I'm like, does this apply to pistols or does it apply to rifles? Because I don't know if there's any soft body armor that can stop the penetration of a rifle round. Even a .22 will go through soft body armor. And a .308, forget about it. A116 establishes 180-day prohibition of a purchase of a handgun for those convicted of failing to report or theft of a firearm. Okay, I'll concede to that one. A1387 permits municipalities to establish weapon-free zones around schools and public facilities. I don't even get that one. Like, what are you stopping? What are you stopping? What's to stop anybody right now? It's already against the law to murder people. It's already against the law to bring a gun on school grounds. What does creating an even greater weapons-free zone, what does that do to prevent people from walking in those school and shooting it up anyway? What does it already do? Especially when the people who do that, they go into school, they shoot up people, and then they kill themselves. I mean, you're not getting it. You're not gaining anything. There's no redemption in that. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, you're preventing somebody who's law-abiding to just so happen to be on the school grounds when somebody walks through the door with a double-barrel shotgun and decides to start going on a rampage. Unbelievable, man. The way people think about stuff. But remember, the 50 cal, we gotta stop people from having 50 cals, despite no crime has ever been committed with a 50 cal, because we love hypotheticals, but apparently they don't like hypotheticals in favor of the law-abiding citizen. Law-abiding citizen can't come with hypotheticals, but the state can come with hypotheticals. A3754 requires firearm seizure when mental health professional determines that a patient possesses a threat of harm to self and others. I could possibly agree with that one. The only problem I have is, so now if somebody goes to a psychiatrist, now they're getting lumped into the category of, oh, they got mental health issues, revoke their Second Amendment right. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just going to deter people from actually going and getting the necessary help or treatment that they need. Right? ACR 180 urges President and Congress to enact legislation or stricter firearms control measures. To me, that's not even an act. Like, it's like, okay, you're urging the president to restrict more guns at the federal level. AR 143 expresses support for Attorney General's gun buyback program. And I've heard a lot of people, a lot of police officers, that, they tell you the truth after they retire and stuff. And they say that most of those guns are actually guns that they already have and they already possess. They put them on a table and they take a whole bunch of pictures of them. And then they get disposed of or go right back in their lockers and say, look how many guns we got off the streets. A2692 provides court with the option of overriding juvenile delinquents to receive interactive instruction in preventing gang involvement in gang and youth violence. If that intervention is not economic, if that intervention is not economical and does not put money in the pockets of these young men out here that are getting sucked into these gangs, you ain't addressing nothing. I'll tell you right now, you ain't addressing nothing. Okay? Does not include bills incorporated S279. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got to say about that. Let me end this video before time runs out, even though I'm pretty sure I am quite over the minute mark.